streets. Hit control, delete. Take it to the streets. Hit control, delete. Warnings been spread wide. You can't do none to stop it. Posing is bona fides, but you're only causing riots. Words move from mouth to mouth. Justice is also troubling, all the way from north to south. It's been a long time coming. Take it to the streets. Hit control, delete. Take it to the streets. Hit control,
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Mega Mirror Live. We're good to have you back. I see all of our usual folks are in the side chat. We got a great show for you tonight. We have with us the one and only Lone Wanderer, one of our guests who was intended to be on a while back, but mix up in scheduling, we had to reschedule. But he's here with us tonight, so it should be a fun time. So welcome to the show, Miss Wanderer.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Hey, we're doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Good. I'm glad we could make it work. And actually, it's not, steaming's Caparison's problem. I can't figure out your coordinated time.
Well, time zones do have a bit of a problem for a lot of people. I sometimes have a real hard time dealing with it myself. So, but before we get started, let's take a look and see who we've got with us. Aimee could not be here tonight, but of course, making sure that everything runs nice and smoothly, we've got Cheesemondo. How you doing, Cheese?
I'm good. Good morning. Good afternoon. Hello, everyone. I was going to say good evening, but that's too giganto for this time of day. This should be a really good show. We've had the Lone Wanderer on the Uncalled for a few times. Just about to become a regular panel guest as well. So this should be a really good show. If anyone does have questions, if you tag the iNetwork or myself in the side chat, I will save them up and get them out to the Lone Wanderer. That's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Cheese, and thanks for reminding me about that. That's right. Our guest is going to soon become a panel member on the Uncalled For. So congratulations on that. How are you feeling about it?
Oh, good. It's a wonderful fit, but not for the fact that I know nothing about flat earthers and I'm not real good at science, but it's fun.
Yeah, well, that's all. It's just pointing and laughing at the stupid, and he serves up the best quality stupid there is. So,
Yes, he does.
yeah, he's good at it. But tonight's more about the lone wanderer herself and her channel. And I'd like to remind everyone to make sure at some point head on over to her channel, check out her content. It's good stuff. And, the usual, give her a sub, give her a like, leave some comments. It really helps the algorithm. And with that, let's get started. So for those who are not aware of who you are or what your channel is about, can you quickly tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah, sure. So, my channel is The Lone Wanderer's Bunker. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm really into the Fallout series. So for the majority, it's been word of the day, stuff, anything that sort of comes towards archiving, because, my cosplay is that I'm trying to when I started the channel, I was trying to save the world from Trump. Thank God he's gone. I don't say thank God as in I really believe, but just, euphemisms.
Yeah.
And it's just been kind of like preserving the past. Now, I live in Bunker 227 with my Belarusian friend. Now, he was originally from the Ukraine, but he moved to a close-off mining town when he was 5 years old, and then somehow made his way to what was the United States of America after the bombs dropped, and we live in a bunker together.
Awesome. Real kind of theme going on there.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so you've been on the scene for a while now, about a year, I think, right?
Yeah, about 1 year.
Yeah. Can you tell us what prompted you to start a channel in the first place?
Yeah, so I had originally started the channel. It was an outlet at the time. When I started the channel, I think one of the very first videos I did, which I deleted, was me actually bitching about the price of medication. I'd gone to a pharmacy and I needed to buy some pills for, what was it? Acid reflux. And my insurance didn't cover them because they were over the counter. And they tried to charge me $350. So, yeah, I know, right? Because if it's over the counter, most times your insurance won't cover it stateside. So that was, that prompted me then. And then I didn't do anything with the channel for a long time. But there was one day I was watching Donald Trump speaking, and I realized that he doesn't know a lot of words. He was like, "I'm good, I'm great, it's fantastic. This is the best ever." That's all he ever said. And I had the whole spark of like, you know what? If these are the only words he knows, I need to make a channel, and I need to preserve, words, and also maybe teach some people, like a word of the day thing. And also, I was seeing it around me, like nobody knew how to use basic English, and I'm like, okay, light bulb, there's an idea for a channel. But eventually it evolved because my online handle is The Lone Wanderer, because I love Fallout, I love it. If anyone looks at my Twitter, they'll see that yesterday I made a Fallout doll, the little Fallout boy. Rather crude. Yeah, but I made it. So that's where it came from, and it's kind of evolved into anything that's sort of archivey. Like I've started reading, books that are in the public domain, and like I'm okay. I'm a wordsmith, but I'm not any genius when it comes to it. I love preserving, the classics and also preserving real language. I mean, when I text someone, I don't use the whole, a lot of text speak, because I'm really trying to preserve it. So that's where the idea came from.
Cool. Well, it's certainly apparent, because when I was going through your channel looking for some videos to feature, I did notice that most of what's there is the word of day videos. And they're relatively short, so I kind of had to create a bit of a compilation of like 5 or 6 of them. So we'll be watching that later on in the show. But you mentioned the readings, and there's a couple of books that you have videos on that you are reading that I've chosen for tonight as well. And I enjoyed them because they are public domain material, and they show how the style of writing has changed from then to now. So I thought that was an interesting thing to kind of highlight. So I think what we'll do is, first of all, check in with Cheesemondo. And are there any questions so far that we need to get to before we start the first video?
There's nothing coming so far. Mostly everyone is saying hello to each other.
Gotcha. The usual. Okay. Well, let's
each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you have any questions for the Lone Wanderer, make sure you tag the iNetwork or Cheesemondo, and we'll get them right out to her and get her answer for you. So with that, let's take a look at the first video. This is one of the books that you were reading out, and it's from the archives, the Pentamerone Chapter 1. So I'd just like to remind everybody that these are edited for time, as usual, and I highly encourage you to go over to her channel and check out the full-length video. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So, Cheese, can you load that up for us?
Welcome back to the bunker, folks. Please take your seats. The show's about to begin. Over and out. Hey there, Wastelanders. So welcome back to the bunker. Thanks for tuning in for the first episode of a new series which I've called From the Archives. Today, we'll be reading from the Pentamerone, or Tale of Tales. This is a 17th century work, and it is argued to be a collection of the very first fairy tales. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. One. How the tales came to be told. It is an old saying that he who seeks what he should not finds what he would not. Everyone has heard of the ape who, in trying to pull on his boots, was caught by the foot. And it happened, in like manner, to a wretched slave who, although she never had shoes to her feet, wanted to wear a crown on her head. But the straight road is the best, and sooner or later a day comes which settles all accounts. At last, having by evil means usurped what belonged to another, she fell to the ground, and the higher she had mounted, the greater was her fall, as you shall see. Once upon a time, the king of Woody Valley had a daughter named Zoza, who was never seen to laugh. The unhappy father, who had no other comfort in life but this only daughter, left nothing untried to drive away her melancholy. So he sent for folks to walk on stilts, fellows to jump through hoops, for boxers, for conjurers, for jugglers who perform sleight-of-hand tricks, for strong men, for dancing dogs, for leaping clowns, for the donkey that drinks out of the tumbler. In short, he tried first one thing, and then another, to make her laugh. But all was time lost, for nothing could bring a smile to her lips. So at length the poor father, at wit's end, and to make a last trial, ordered a large fountain of oil to be sent from the palace gates, thinking to himself that when the oil ran down the street, along which the people passed. Like a troop of ants, they would be obliged, in order not to soil their clothes, to skip like grasshoppers, leap like goats, and run like hares. While one would go picking and choosing his way, the other go creeping along the wall. In short, he hoped that something might come to pass to make his daughter laugh. So the fountain was made, and as Zoza was one day standing at the window, grave and demure, and looking as sour as vinegar, there came by chance an old woman, who, soaking up the oil with a sponge, began to fill a little picture, with which she had brought with her. And as she was labouring hard at this ingenious device, a young page of the court passing by threw a stone so exactly to a hair that hit the picture and broke it into pieces. Whereupon the old woman, who had no hair on her tongue, turned to the page, full of wrath, and exclaimed, "Ah, you impertinent young dog, you mule, you gallows rope, you spindle legs, I'll lick you. May you be pierced by Catalan lance. May 1,000 ills befall you, and something more to boot. You thief, you knave." The lad, who had a little beard and less discretion, hearing this string of abuse, repaid the old woman in her own coin, saying, "Have you done, your grandmother of witches? You old hag, you child strangler." When the old woman heard these compliments, she flew into such a rage that, losing hold of the bridle and escaping from the stable of Patience, she acted as if she were mad, cutting capers in the air and grinning like an ape. At this strange spectacle, Zoza burst into such a fit of laughter that she well nigh fainted away. But when the old woman saw herself played this trick, she flew into a passion, and turning a fierce look on Zoza, she exclaimed, "May you never have a least little bit of a husband, unless you take the Prince of Roundfield." Upon hearing this, Zoza ordered the woman to be called, and desired to know whether in her words she had laid a curse, or had only meant to insult her. And the old woman answered, "Know then that I, the prince of whom I spoke, is a most handsome creature, and is named Taddeo."
Right. That was pretty good. That's a very, very interesting tale. And the writing was really unique, you know. How long did you prepare to do that video?
Well, I know I tripped over a few of the words, and if people keep watching, they'll see that what I thought purchased was a bad translation, but I think that one that was maybe the fourth or fifth take of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, and I've started using my husband's microphone, so I don't have to have the headset on anymore, so the quality of the videos audio-wise is really going to come up.
Excellent. It's actually interesting to just sit back and listen to a story being read. It's really the thing these days with audiobooks and that, isn't it?
Oh yes, absolutely. And actually, one of the drives to also make the audiobooks was for my husband as well, because he has to travel about 35 to 40 minutes to work, so I was hoping he might be interested in them, as he does enjoy the classics, but his genre is more like the Sherlock Holmes kind of thing. So
yeah,
I
like Sherlock Holmes.
Thanks, yeah. So I'm hoping people will like it.
Oh, I'm sure they will. I mean, they're classic stories, and we need to keep them alive. We don't want to lose that. I think it's a good thing what you're doing, to be honest. But let's see if we have any comments or questions from the side chat. Please.
I'm just chuckling because there's a lot of ribbing of Chris Durham music after his appearance last week. There was a really kind message from Southern Hemisphere Globehead who says, "This is very interesting. Only now starting to explore other channels and genres."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank
awesome. You. Yeah, and that actually brings me to another question. Do you have any plans for other new and different content in the coming months?
Actually, I do. I really love the cosplay of Fallout, and I'm working on the origin story of how the bombs dropped and how I ended up in Bunker 227. So that is coming up. I'm working on a script, but I really want it to be perfect. So
awesome.
Look out for that because it's a very interesting story.
Awesome. Very, very good. So you heard it here first, folks. Keep an eye out for that. That should be really interesting. So let's move on to a couple more questions, and then we'll look at the second video. First of all, on average, not just the reading, but the word of the day or all of your content. On average, how much time do you spend creating content in general? Like, do you have a set amount of hours you allocate to that every week, or is it just on the fly?
Well, with the word of the day, I do like it. I have kind of tapered off the word of the day because looking at the analytics and what people want, I'm not really getting the views, that I thought I would. But in terms of recording the word of the day, I do make sure when I am doing it that I'm doing it about 9 o'clock in the morning, and with all the editing and everything, once I make it, as clean as I want, it really only takes about 30 minutes to do it. But when I'm doing something as big as reading the books and everything, I will probably sit there for a couple of hours, maybe 3 max, just making sure I edit out the arms, R's, things like that. So I do try to dedicate at least 2 to 3 hours a day to it, but it's not like I'm going to do it every day. It's just when it comes to me, I want to do it. But I just I may come back to word of the day, but I feel like it's run its course.
Yeah. Well, maybe just reformat how you present it and rebrand it as something else. It might actually turn out to be okay.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too.
Yeah, exactly. Now, seeing as how we mentioned that you were going to soon become a regular member of the Uncalled For, when it comes to stuff like you're going to be doing on that show, is there a claim or a conspiracy that really tends to bother you more than any other?
Now that's interesting. The claim that there's Karens that bothers me, because I feel terrible for the women who are called Karen and they're not Karens.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole flat Earth thing bothers me. I mean, you can figure out that it's not flat in 5 minutes. You just have, you have to look outside. Do you see a horizon? Yes. Are you falling, off the Earth? Is there gravity? Yeah, that would be the one that bothers me the most. And also, as a generalization, what bothers me is people who make claims without evidence.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, so it's just like, can you prove it? No, you can't. Okay, shut up.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you 100%. And I look forward to seeing what Cheese has for you and how you do on the USPF. I think you're going to be a great addition to the show. So,
thanks.
So everybody in the side chat, not only head over to to Lone Wanderer's channel, check out her stuff, and do all the like, sub, and comment stuff. But check her out on the UCF as well. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised as she joins the ladies. And with that, before we get to the next video, is there something that you would like to do on your channel that you haven't done before? That like totally new?
In the format,
No,
yeah,
just in general, you know,
yeah,
like
yeah. For me, I would actually like to have a decent live stream, but in terms of the background stuff, I would really like to figure out how to do some stop motion animation or something like that. Like if anyone's watched Telltale, how he does the drawing and stuff while he's talking, I would really like to have some graphics there, you know, not just me, you know, in the background talking. Cool. So that would be my thing, but I have to figure out like how the hell I'd even do it. Do I have to pay for software? You know, so many questions.
Yeah. I'm sure that there's software out there that'll help simplify the task. And I have a feeling there's probably going to be a little bit of artistic talent required in the background as well. And there's lots of really talented people in our community. So I'm sure if you reach out, you'll find someone who's willing to pitch in and help you out. And if anyone out there is listening and you have the talent, maybe reach out to Lone Wanderer and see what you can do to help her out. Okay, so let's move on to the next video. Now, this is a score compilation. I've taken 5 or 6 of your Word of the Day videos, and I've just kind of brought them together into a single video. And we'll just have a quick look at that and get the side chat's feedback on what they think of the word of the day, and we'll have a little chit chat. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Awesome. All right, Cheese, can you load that up for us, please?
Hi everyone, today's word of the day is blockhead. This is a person who is stupid or maybe a little bit stubborn. Blockhead. Hi everyone, today's word of the day is cacophony. Cacophony. C-A-C-O-P-H-O-N-Y. It's a noun and it means a harsh mixture of sounds, such as a cacophony of deafening alarm bells. Hi everyone, today's word of the day is dearth. D-E-A-R-T-H. It's a noun and it means a scarcity or a lack of something. Hi everyone, today's word of the day is enamor. Enamor is to be filled with a feeling of love for something or have liking or admiration. I wish that I had liking and admiration for our president, but I don't. Hi everyone, today's word of the day is grotto. Grotto is a noun and it means a small picturesque cave, especially an artificial one in a park or a garden. I'd really like to hide in a cave away from all of the stuff that's happening in the world today. Hi everyone, today's word of the day is pot valor. Pot valor is boldness or courage resulting from an alcoholic drink. So another way of saying Dutch courage. Thanks everyone, have a great day.
And I think that's the end of that one. Okay, good. All right. So those are some interesting words that you chose there. How do you choose the words for those videos? Do you just kind of close your eyes and point at something in the dictionary, or is there a purpose behind it?
There is a purpose. In the beginning, I was doing the whole, dictionary roulette, but the purpose is to try to expand on vocabulary. Mostly because everyone around me is like, good, great, fantastic, and I'm like, oh God, it's like Trump.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so it really came from his adjectives that he knew: good, great, fantastic. I was like, oh my God, at least George Bush tried.
That's true. That's true. I have to give you that one. That is absolutely true. But I find myself also, I have a few adjectives that I use to express my emotion about something, and I've kind of gotten stuck on using them always. So I'm as guilty as the next person of having a lack of creativity as to the adjectives I often use. I think a lot of people do, but I think it's a good idea that someone like you is out there introducing new vocabulary and trying to break that. I think it's a great thing. So do you have any words of the day that you would like to bring up for us now that you might think we might find interesting? Or
you put me on the spot, didn't you? I didn't prepare for this.
Well, I figured, why not?
Yeah. Oh, what can I think of? Oh yeah, I love it when people are getting too big for their boots, and I'll throw in, talking about the subject of anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Oh, and that's a long one.
It is. It's one of the longest, and they look at you like you're a deer in the headlights. But to break, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I didn't even realize that was a word.
It really is. To break it down, it's your anti-disestablishment.
Okay.
Yeah, but it really is. It's a word.
Cool. Well, that's interesting. You see, that's why people should be going to your channel. Learn some vocabulary, folks. It's really interesting what you can find out. So,
yeah.
Go ahead.
And the history of words, that gets me going. Like where did it come from?
Yeah, the etymology behind it.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, for you kids, it's entomology.
Well said. Well said. So, do we have any comments or questions from the side chat, Cheese?
We do. There was a question from Carl Edwards who says, who initially said, I don't have a question, but I admire people who do cosplay, and then went on to actually pose a question and says, what part of grammar does the lone wanderer hate people butchering?
Ooh, good question.
All of it. No, really, all of it. Oh goodness. Yeah, the one that really irritates me is people who can't figure out plurals. The is versus are.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was one boy in the store the other day who says, "Yeah, we is going to the store." I'm like, no, you are going to the store.
Yeah, that's basic grade school grammar.
Honestly, they don't know it. Like, you just.
I wonder.
That's what irks me. The people who don't know the basics.
I wonder how that happens, though. I mean, the school systems can't be that bad.
Well, no, it's a combination of the school system versus the teacher versus the student who's not listening.
Yeah,
but
I suppose you're right.
Bad school systems. Yeah, my goodness.
Yeah. Now, being a teacher myself at the grade school level, I know exactly where you're coming from. And it is frustrating when they mix up their plurals and they mix up their tenses. That's the one that gets me.
Mm-hmm.
Using the wrong tense when they're speaking about something. that just really bothers me. And sometimes it's really hard to get that through to the children to understand the concept of tenses. But once they get it, they're okay.
Well, I feel sorry for them because not a lot of people realize that in English we have 16, that's 1/6 tenses.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know that.
That's too much for most people to deal with. Most people, they're lucky if they can just handle past, present, future, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which for general conversation is really all that's needed. But you're right. There's a lot more to it than you might think. So, all right. So, do we have anything else, Cheese?
There was a word from Dr. Osiris that I can't pronounce that was thrown into side chat, but that was longer than anti-disestablishmentarianism. And Batby Bell says, are there peoples here that use poor grammar? Peoples here spelled H-E-A-R.
Grrr. Yeah, that's another one. The homophones,
Wow.
He did that just to irk me.
Yeah. Language is one of those things that you could talk for hours, and it's such a deep subject. There's so much to it. It really boggles the mind. But English, I find is very, very. It can be very confusing. I mean, for students who are coming from a different language, to be presented with English where there's rules set in stone for a lot of it, but there are so many exceptions to the rule within the language that it confuses them.
Oh, it does. And then you being in Southeast Asia, you'll know that, I don't know if it's in Vietnamese, but I know in Thai they have gender words. Like if I'm saying, hello.
Yeah, we have the same thing.
Yeah.
We have the same thing here in Vietnam. Gender phrases, not only for men and women, but for children versus older people. Like for example, if you take a young girl, if you're older than her, you would say M. If she's your sister, it's G. If she's older and you're being more respectful, it's Ko. If she's a grandmother, it's Ba. I mean, and it's all just for women. And then there's the same for men, But the thing is, here in Vietnam, the Asian languages in particular, they're very unforgiving. If your pronunciation isn't absolutely correct and your accents aren't on the right place, you completely change what you're saying, and people just don't understand you.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah. Whereas English, it's in that regard, it's much more forgiving. And if a person's pronunciation isn't exactly right or their grammar is a bit out of place, you can still understand what they're trying to communicate. Not so in Vietnamese. If you aren't absolutely perfect in your pronunciation and your grammar, it's like speaking dog.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a very interesting subject. I could probably go on for it for hours, but we won't do that. We'll just continue on. And before we get to your last video, I thought maybe it'd be fun to talk a little bit about your experience of being on YouTube and kind of see where you're at. Well, before we do that, actually, is there anything in particular that you really love to do outside of YouTube?
Oh, I love to play Magic the Gathering.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you play that online or?
I play it on Arena, not the online version, because Magic Online you have to pay for, but MTG Arena you don't have to pay for. And one of these days, I will get to Mythic, which is the highest rank.
Wow.
And I've been grinding and trying different ideas for decks. And it's funny because of my accent, people think I'm saying dicks. But I will get through all the dicks I can. I can do it.
Excellent. How long have you been playing that?
I started playing Magic full time in 2001. So 20 years.
Wow. 20 years you've been playing.
Yep.
Holy.
I love it. See, I wanted to play it when Go ahead.
I would have lost patience after about 20 months.
No, you can't. I love it. I love it because there is infinite combinations of cards. It's like, it's chess. You have to get into the opponent's head. I've been searching for that perfect deck that I can play that's going to beat everyone. But really, there are so many combinations. Eventually, you're going to hit one that you can't win against.
Yeah. Wow. 20 years. That's amazing. That's dedication, folks. That's dedication.
It really is.
I have to ask you, though. Are you a Dungeons and Dragons fan?
I am as well.
Cool. What level are you at?
I haven't actually played Dungeons and Dragons in about, I want to say 15 years. I've been the one that creates the stories, and helps the DM. But my husband's actually started running a D&D campaign at our local game store. So I've been helping him, edit everything. Of course, I'm editing it. And
Awesome.
helping him with the story.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's interesting.
Yeah. See, it's kind of sad though, because in a previous relationship, I had tried to play it, and I was trying to play with some friends. It was more of a space D&D because at the time we were into, like Battlestar Galactica, things like that. And they got upset with me because I didn't understand all of the rules and then didn't want to play anymore, as if we were 6 years old.
Okay. All right. I get you.
So it kind of soured the honey pot.
All right. Well, getting back to the world of YouTube, what do you think is missing from YouTube today?
Kind people.
Okay.
We're an oasis in the desert. People like us on EIE. I understand that it's a soundboard for some people, but that's no excuse for bad behavior.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and being cruel to people. There was, I'm not going to name names, but there was one particular fellow who took it upon themselves to say that people who are fat, they must be lazy and eat too much.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but that's far from the case. Far from the case. And I have said unkind things in the past, but part of being a human and growing is learning and understanding that you can't make generalizations because you're upset and pissed off at the world. And it's not the world's fault that, you're trying to make up for your shortcomings by making somebody else feel upset.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I kind of have to agree with you on that. I kind of have to agree.
But there are a lot of lovely people on YouTube as well,
Oh,
but
yeah, absolutely.
Like, lately everyone wants to be a dick.
Okay, well, I can accept that. And it's true. There are a lot of people out there who just want to be assholes. I'm sorry to say it, but, that's the way it is. And you're right. YouTube isn't the place for it. So, but a lot of things are going to be happening in the next couple of years that are going to change a lot of things for some people, particularly flat earthers. What do you think of the future? Like, how do you think it's going to affect the flat earth movement?
Oh, they're going to be absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
they already are, but
yeah, I think it's going to change their perspective on a lot of things, especially sea levels. Like the sea levels are rising.
There's no denying it.
With the polar ice caps melting, what are they going to do then? How are they going to send their precious? And actually, if their precious Earth was flat, they'd already be drowning. Yeah.
That's true. That's a darned good point. I had not thought of that.
Yeah, or out of water. If it's all just flowing away, where's the rest of the water coming from? How do we keep it?
It's spilling over the ice wall. Okay, I'd like some photographic evidence of that.
Yep, screenshot or it didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, if there's nothing else from the side chat, then let's go on to the third video. Cheese, is there anything left to cover before we do that?
There was a question from Dr. Osiris who says, does the Lone Wanderer know what petrichor is?
I do not, but I shall look it up.
There you go. Another video. There you go.
Exactly.
Thank you, Dr. Osiris. You got another video on the way. And again, I just want to remind everybody, please do go over to her channel, check out The Lone Wanderer, check out her content, and do the sub, like, and comment thing. It really does help the algorithm. So let's move on to the final video. This is another reading. So everybody, get ready, get your milk and cookies. It's reading time again. And this one is The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, Part 1. So if you could load that up for us, Cheese.
Welcome back to the bunker, folks. Please take your seats. The show's about to begin. Over and out.
Today's episode is brought to you by Barry's Bear Corn Cobs. That's Barry's Bear Corn Cobs. For those of us who are fiber conscious, just eat the cob.
The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. Found among the papers of the late Diedrich Knickerbocker. A pleasing land of drowsy head it was, of dreams that wave before the half-shut eye, and of gay castles in the clouds that pass, forever flushing round a summer sky. Castle of Indolence. In the bosom of one of those spacious coves which indent the eastern shores of the Hudson, at that broad expansion of the river, denominated by the ancient Dutch navigators the Tappan Zee, and where they always prudently shortened sail, and implored the protection of St. Nicholas when they crossed, there lies a small market town or rural port, which by some is called Greensborough, but which is more generally and properly known by the name of Tarrytown. This name was given, we are told, in former days by the good housewives of the adjacent country, from the inveterate propensity of their husbands to linger about the village tavern on market days. Be that as it may, I do not vouch for the fact, but merely advert to it, for the sake of being precise and authentic. Not far from this village, perhaps about 2 miles, there is a little valley, or rather lap of land, among high hills, which is one of the quietest places in the whole world. A small brook glides through it, with just murmur enough to lull one to repose, and the occasional whistle of a quail or tapping of a woodpecker is almost the only sound that ever breaks in upon the uniform tranquillity. I recollect that, in a stripling, my first exploit in squirrel shooting was in a grove of tall walnut trees that shades one side of the valley. In wandering into it at noontime, when all nature is peculiarly quiet, and was startled by the roar of my own gun. As it broke the Sabbath stillness around, was prolonged and reverberated by the angry echoes. If ever I should wish for a retreat, whither I might steal from the world and its distractions, and dream quietly away the remnant of a troubled life, I know of no more promising than this little valley. From the listless repose of this place, and the peculiar character of its inhabitants, who are descendants from the original Dutch settlers, this sequestered glen has long been known by the name of Sleepy Hollow, and its rustic lads are called the Sleepy Hollow Boys throughout all neighbouring country. A drowsy, dreamy influence seems to hang over the land and to pervade the very atmosphere. Some say that the place has been bewitched by a high German doctor during the early days of the settlement, others that an old Indian chief, the prophet or wizard of his tribe, held his papals there before the country was discovered by Master Hendrik Hudson. Certain it is, the place still continues under the sway of some witching power that holds a spell over the minds of the good people, causing them to walk in a continual reverie. They are given to all kinds of marvellous beliefs, are subject to trances and visions, and frequently see strange sights, and hear music and voices in the air. The whole neighbourhood abounds with local tales, haunted spots, and twilight superstitions. Stars shoot and meteors glare, often across the valley that in any other part of the country, and the nightmare, with her whole ninefold, seems to make it a favourite scene for her gambols. The dominant spirit, however, that haunts the enchanted region, and seems to be commander-in-chief of all powers of the air, is the apparition of a figure on horseback, without a head. It is said by some to be the ghost of a Hessian trooper whose head had been carried away by a cannonball in some nameless battle during the Revolutionary War, and who is ever and anon seen by the country folk hurrying along in the gloom of night, and it is if on the wings of the wind.
And there we go, folks. That was another quick sampling of the reading time with our lovely guest, the Lone Wanderer. I really enjoy those readings. You know, it's nice to sit back and just listen to a story from another person's voice. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I'm glad you did. It's nice to have feedback.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought of actually doing a full scale novel in these reading kind of videos, like Lord of the Rings, Chapter 1?
I have thought about it. Yes, I have. And the Pantamorone is, I think, about 150 pages, so it's more of a novella. But I've been thinking about a full scale novel, but I'm trying to A, think of one I like, and B, find one that's in the public domain. So if anybody has any suggestions, you can send me an email, go to my page and sub, and send me an email of what you might like to read, and if it's public domain, I can make it happen.
That is awesome. Everybody do that, please. Think of something you'd like her to read. If it's public domain, let her know about it, and I would certainly look forward to listening to that. Absolutely. Matter of fact, I wanted to ask you, isn't the original version of the War of the Worlds in the public domain now?
Yes, it is. Good idea.
There you go. That's an awesome story. That's an awesome story. I would love to hear that.
It's coming.
Awesome. Please do. All right. So let's see if the chat has any comments. Please.
There's a few coming in. I'm going to collate those, but in the meantime, Babby Bell says, "In what ways are atheists shunned where you are from?"
As in where I was born or where I live now?
I would guess where you were born. You're from Australia, right?
No, I'm from New Zealand.
From New Zealand. Well, close enough.
Well, actually, it's not entirely factual. My grandfather was born in Australia, so
Oh, okay. There you go. There you
yeah,
go.
yes. But I
So,
keep the Queen's English accent from my grandmother.
I
Yeah.
gotcha.
No,
Okay, well, let's answer that question from that standpoint.
no, they're not shunned at all. Yeah,
No, eh?
yeah. It's pretty cool. It's I don't think I really ever had an issue. Except for, when I would meet street preachers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can, yeah, I can certainly attest to that. There are an awful lot of Aussies and South Africans here in Vietnam, and they're all basically of the same mind. They're pretty much all of them that I know are atheists.
Exactly. And for anyone who's doubting, just try praying. Did it ever come true? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually I would happy to email you your link to a website, but it's basically 50 reasons why there isn't a God. Or 50 reasons to question, like, if prayer works, then why do you need medical insurance?
That's right. That's a good point.
Little things like that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I agree. Carl Edwards says he's an agnostic. Okay.
Get off the fence.
There you go. You heard it here first, Carl.
No, Carl. You can be whatever you want to be.
Absolutely.
I don't know where Carl is, but it might be easier for him to be an agnostic. Given the tone of where he lives.
Yeah. To each his own. I don't judge anybody for whatever position they take.
I really don't. Like I joke about things, but no, I find it difficult to judge.
Yeah.
And I do try very hard not to judge anyone. I'm not saying that I've never done it, and it does hurt my heart to think about the fact that I might have judged someone, because I don't walk in their shoes. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in your life.
Exactly. I'm 100% atheist, but my lady, and she's an absolute devout Christian. I support her in that 100%. It makes her happy. It fulfills her life, and what could be better than that? If it does that for you, then by all means, go ahead and do it. I will not judge.
Yeah. And it isn't the fact that you may or may not believe in a God. You do you. Be happy.
Yeah.
It's what your God does to others that's the problem.
That's how I see it. I agree with you. I do. All right. Anything else for us in there, Cheese?
There's a few suggestions of things that you should read. Chris Durham suggests the Silmarillion. I can't talk at all today. Very sorry for butchering that. Clive Wells agreed that was his thought too, and then Clive Wells suggested Beowulf. Carl Edwards suggested that the Maracot Deep, and then to round off all the questions and comments, Carl Edwards threw in, my comment is awesome work.
Oh,
awesome. Excellent. So you've got some good ideas to work on there, young lady.
I do.
Yeah, it should be some interesting content coming our way from your end of the woods. So thank you for all those great suggestions, everyone.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Absolutely. Okay, so that brings us to the last bit, and that is our quick fire round. 10 general questions just to find out a little bit about the lone wanderer and what she's all about, and your likes, her dislikes, and so on. So if you're ready, let's hit the quick fire.
Fire away.
Awesome. Okay. First one. Do you prefer beer, wine, or soda?
Wine.
Wine. You're a wine lady. I had a feeling you would be. Okay. with the readings that we have learned or listened to this evening, what is your preferred type of book?
Thrillers.
Okay. And what next one? What is your favorite historic period in literature?
Victorian, Edwardian England.
That's some good writing back then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Our next one. What inspires you to do what you do?
To know that it will make someone happy, even if they don't comment.
Awesome. And next one, feel free to expand on this as much as you wish. The most interesting place that you have been and why?
Jeez. I would have to say that it's my mother-in-law's house, because of the fact that I know her great-grandfather built the house with his own two hands, and I like to see how exactly he did it, because he started in one room in the middle of the house and expanded it.
Wow.
And it's chopped and changed, and for the life of me, I've never been able to get up to the second floor. He did actually plan out a second floor, but great granny bitched, moaned, whined, and complained because they couldn't decide where to put a staircase, so it never happened.
Okay, I gotcha.
He framed out the entire upper, but I've never been up there, mostly because I'm afraid that there might be rats up there.
That is very, very interesting.
But just to know that one man with his own hands, he built that entire house, and it still stands today.
How old is the house?
Where are we now? 116 years.
Wow, and still standing.
Still standing. That thing's been through how many hurricanes? It's got big oak trees all around it. Nothing has ever fallen on that house. We had one oak tree that broke. It was rotten, and it fell on the greenhouse and broke it, but it didn't hit the house. And if it had fallen an inch to the left, it would have.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that is so interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Next one. Do you prefer doing pre-done videos or live streams?
Pre-done videos. I'm really bad on the spot sometimes, so I'd rather do a pre-done video and make sure it's as good as it can be. No one can be perfect, so don't try. There's no such thing.
I agree.
As good as it can be.
Yeah. But I have to be honest. You've done pretty well on the show tonight, so I think you're better at live streaming than you might give yourself credits for. So,
I'm trying very hard.
You're doing great, and I'm really enjoying this conversation.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. An adventure that you would like to pursue at some point in your life.
Oh my gosh, I have so many, but there are in the top 3 would be following the proper Orient Express route, but you can't do it anymore because of borders. Horseback riding from Iran all the way to Jordan.
Wow.
Traveling all the way through Southeast Asia, and I'd be happy doing it on my own. I might be little, but I'm feisty. And actually, there's a 4th one, and that's seeing all the wonders of the ancient world, like going to Egypt, seeing the pyramids, going to Petra and Jordan, the old school things, because it so reminds me of the Poirot, Agatha Christie kind of stories.
Yeah.
I think it'd be wonderful.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but anyone who doesn't know, the Orient Express isn't the true route anymore, but World War II fucked that over. So
yeah,
it doesn't follow the true route. Yeah, just anything like that would be wonderful.
Wow, those are some real serious adventures. I hope you get a chance to at least pursue one of them.
As do I.
Yeah, and I'm sure you will. You seem like feisty enough girl to make at least one happen.
Yeah, I've lived by myself for many years. Not now, obviously, but I've lived in some rough neighborhoods where I had to keep a wine bottle next to the bed because there were no guns.
Well, there you go. There you go. All right. The last three, of course, are the usual last three. First of all, a person, living or dead, that you would most like to meet if you could.
Gosh, there's so many. Well, I did a DNA test, on Ancestry, and I don't know how accurate these things are, but it says that I was related to Louisa May Alcott, who wrote Little Woman. So perhaps, that sort of thing is in the blood. So I'd love to meet her.
Awesome.
And Sir Anthony Hopkins, because he is the shiz.
He is. He's
I would love
awesome.
it. I think it would be wonderful. And I would have loved to have met Christopher Hitchens.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Like, he would have been the best drinking buddy. Like, he wouldn't have judged.
No, and he will tell you like it is, whether you like it or not. I think that's what I like the most about Christopher Hitchens.
Yeah.
All right, those are some interesting people.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at the flip side of that coin and find out a person you would most avoid meeting.
Donald Trump.
No. Now, why did I know you were going to say that?
No, to be fair, though, if I met him, I would be very kind. I really would. But I wouldn't set out to meet him.
Yeah.
Who else?
I mean, someone who would make you literally turn around and run away.
See, this is the problem, because I don't think anybody's beyond redeeming. And I know that's stupid. Perhaps it is, but I like to see the best of people. But turn around and run away, Bill Cosby.
Okay.
That man gives me creeps. And Steve Harvey. If anyone watches, American television, he does Family Feud. Like, there is something not right about that man. He makes my skin crawl. When I look at him, I think not safe. I've been telling my little niece. She was like, I'm like, some people are not safe. And for a month, she was like calling me, and she was like, look at this person, on video chat, safe or not safe? I'm like, not safe.
I gotcha. Wow, that's interesting, man. That's great. Okay. Again, you can expand on this as much as you like, but what are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
Well, the stuff I'd already said about, traveling to, those far off places. Traveling across the US, that'd be fun. Because the thing is, I keep telling people, you don't have to go overseas to find beauty. Like, there are snow-capped mountains in this this country. There is so much beauty. You're just not looking for it.
You're right.
You're right. To go to Washington, D.C. Now, it's kind of sad. I got my citizenship at the start of this year, the week that Biden took office. He took office on, Tuesday or Wednesday, and I was sworn in on Friday of that week.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But it's not what I wanted, because I wanted to be sworn in on the steps of the Jefferson Memorial. But I couldn't do it because of COVID.
No.
Or the Lincoln, or in the Rotunda, Anyway, Actually, I think rotund is a fun word. I couldn't say it forever. So that was on the bucket list, but going to DC would be fun.
Okay.
But then I also worry because I feel like, what if the enamor and everything, it's all ruined because it's just a terrible place. You go there and it's like you want to give it a bad Yelp review,
Yeah.
And a third thing, top 3 would probably be to go, to Southeast Asia and go to all the places that have come up in, my ancestry kit, and see where that was and see the ancestral home, because I've tracked an ancestral, lands back to China as well. So that'd be fun to do that. Mine is all about, history.
Yeah, exactly. Although China's a bit of a tricky place to be right now, so with all that's going on.
I'll wear a mask.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. Well, that's excellent. Thank you so much for that. Now, let's check in with Cheese one last time and see if there's anything left in the side chat that we need to address. Cheese?
I don't have anything new, but I've definitely seen that a few people who are watching have subscribed today. So thank you very much to everyone who subbed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you indeed. Thank you indeed.
Great word.
Yeah,
Tell my friends.
Our side chat on this show is they're the greatest bunch, and I really, really do appreciate all of you. Thank you very much, as usual. And that brings us to the open mic time. Anything that you want to fill out or share before we close up? The floor is yours.
Just be good people, be kind to each other, and please like and share and subscribe.
Awesome. Cheese has been putting the link in the side chat and also Streamlabs to the Lone Wanderers channel. Once again, if you haven't yet, head on over to her channel, check out her stuff, give her the sub, give her the like, give her the comments as usual, and thank you very much for doing that. And it's been really... Yeah, go ahead.
I'm experimenting with something else. I don't know if Cheese has the link, but I've been experimenting with ASMR, so I've made a couple of, sleepy time meditation videos. So you might want to check that out too.
Do you have the link available? If you just pass that to Cheese right now, he can put that out there.
Yep, see if I can find it. But anyway, you go ahead with what you were doing.
Awesome. Well, it's really been great having you here. I'm glad we were finally able to get you onto the show. And thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
All right. Oh, no problem. No problem. It's my pleasure. And with that, everyone, thanks for coming out. As always, it's great to see all of you in the side chat. And that's about it for today. So thanks again, and we'll see you again on the next Mega Mirror Live.